better. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about leaders and what leaders do. Do you think leaders work 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, or 24?
24.
Real leaders don't have a time. They cut the switch on and off. They're 24 hours a day. Most of you guys are parents, and your kids rely on you to be their leader, right? Do their homework, get their lunches, get them to school. They depend on you. Absolutely, right?
Yes, sir.
No different than a job. You're dependent on. So leaders operate on a 24-hour time span. Not 4 hours just because you're at work, or 6 hours. People perceive you how you show up. Being respectful. Setting expectations. We all want to be leaders. But some of us don't want to be leaders for 4 hours a day. And real leaders are 24 hours a day. Right?
Yes, sir.
You've got to come to work to be a leader. Whether it's at home, if there's a job there to be done, just like it is when you come to Muscle Up Movers, right?
Yes, sir.
So I just want to put that little note in y'all's head today to think about that through the course of the day. If you want to be a leader, you got to show up to be a leader. How hungry are you? You can't be hungry for 4 hours a day because you're going to starve to death. But if you're hungry for 24 hours a day, your belly will be full. Trust me. Setting expectations, guys, when you're in the field. Your team leader is your leader. He's not your daddy. He's your team lead. So if he asks you to do something, please don't take it personal. It's business. It's all business, guys. Your personal part is at the front door. When we walk in this door, it's all business. If your team leader asks you to do something, please be respectful and do that. And team leaders, again, we are leaders, so we're respectful with our movers, right?
Yes, sir.
So setting our expectations, because we don't set our expectations, our crew don't know what to expect. I love how Waddell took ownership the other night in Cindy's move, and he set expectations. Guys, we can't have no damages. We got to wrap top to bottom. I like that. He took ownership. I just sat back and just watched. He showed true leadership. Now, let's talk a little bit about when we load and we go from load to unload. The path that we're taking from A to B, load to unload, when we take a lunch, we got to take a lunch in somewhere in that path. We cannot take a lunch 45 minutes outside that path. That's going to run into a customer's time. You're going to be at the house late. You're going to have a customer complaining. So let's talk about where we're going to take lunch in the path going to our unload. You can take a lunch at the unload location close by, or you can go ahead and drive already over there to the unload and take lunch close to that location. But it's got to be within that path, guys. We can't go outside 35, 40 minutes outside that path and burn up that time. It's putting your day longer at the customer's house. It's not being responsible, and it's bad on the customer's eyes to look at us doing this. Make sure we let our customer know when we're going to take a lunch. Have customers call and say, I don't know where my guys are. If you're going to take a lunch, just let them know. Hey, we're going to take a 30-minute lunch, and we'll be there at your house shortly. The GPS tells us that we're going to be 30 minutes away from here to there. So we'll be there in about an hour or however long you're going to take a lunch. Just let them know. Communication, guys, is point on. You've got to communicate with your customers. You don't want them to think you're trying to be shady. All right, guys, it's going to be kind of another short day. Joe, you got anything you want to say?
I got a few things. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Joe.
I've been gone for about 5 days. I had to take my babies to the beach. Everybody can admire my beautiful tan, but I'm Iranian, so it's easy to tan. So I want to say good morning, everybody. I'm glad that Frank touched on leadership. On my way down to the beach, I had a 6-hour drive, and I listened to audibles the whole time. 6 hours back, I listened to audibles again the whole time, which is a book. If you're not familiar with that, it's just on voice versus you got to look at words. And it was a book on leadership, and it talks about how a lot of people believe leadership is prime ministers, doctors, presidents, generals, CEOs, or whoever's got the biggest office. You know, it doesn't matter who has the biggest office or who has the biggest title. Everyone has to show up as a leader or can show up as a leader. And you know, to kind of touch on that, a few months ago, I flew out of Atlanta's airport, and when I went into the restroom, there's a guy in the restroom that said, "Welcome to my office." He was so proud of his office, which was the restroom. He had, you know, your towelettes, your cigarettes, your candy, your mints, your chewing gums. He was ready to hand you a napkin. He wanted to give you some soapy soap. I mean, that was his office, and he took pride in his office, which is where we take shits. Let's be honest, we take a shit in his office, but guess what? He has a smile on his face, even though he works in a shithole, but he shows up how he chooses to show up. Now, he could choose to show up like, fuck, here's somebody else's hand, I gotta put some soap on, or fuck, this guy smells, he needs some extra cologne, am I right? Who wants to work in a restroom? Who wants to be a garbage man? Anybody want to pick up trash for a living? No. You guys have such an amazing opportunity, and I want to talk about this real quick, okay? You guys do the impossible possible. You make the impossible possible. Let that deep in real quick. You move shit from point A to point B that they can't do. In their wildest dreams, they would hire a Jedi if they could to move their shit, but Jedi's only on TV. You guys are fucking Jedis. You're moving furniture that they can't move, they can't lift, they can't touch. You're doing the impossible for them. You should be showing up like, "Welcome to my office," and wow them. If you wow them, I mean, who tips their waitress? Who tips their bartender? Now, do they have a harder job than y'all?
No.
Fuck no, they're not picking shit up. They're not dealing with divorced couples. They're not dealing with spiders and ants and cockroaches. You guys should be getting a $50 to $100 tip every fucking move. $100 a day, 7 days a week. I don't see why not. Me and Frank were on a move a few years ago, and they tipped about 9 or 10 of us, the guy that had the Beatles and the pianos and the drum sets. He tipped everybody a $250 check, and because I was the owner, he wanted to give me a $350 check. And I said, "Listen, I don't take tips. I'm the owner. I divide that to my team. I don't take gratuity." And he's like, "Well, fine. Give it to your wife," because at that time she was in sales and she answered the phone, so I gave her the $350. But I say that because me, Frank, and the entire team wowed that customer. Because we wowed that customer. We showed up to move heavy shit that was really fucking expensive, and we did a good job. And sometimes you do a bad job. Have you ever tipped a server that still did a bad job?
Yeah.
So why are y'all not getting tips? How are you showing up? Are you on your phone dealing with your baby mama drama? Are you dealing with your bill collectors? Are you trying to hassle or hustle somebody that's messing you up? I mean, if a server came to my table to hand me my fries doing this and dropping off the drinks doing this, I would not fucking tip that server. I wouldn't, because you're on your fucking phone. Bartender, same way. I like to drink. Who likes to drink? Yeah? You ever had a bar tab?
Yeah.
You ever left a $2 tip?
No way.
I don't think so. I mean, if you did, you did. That's cool.
But
But you guys have got to show up and wow your customers, and you'll make more money wowing your customers than you ever will clocking in, clocking out. I want you guys to understand that. You will always make more money wowing people than you will with a job. As a personal trainer, as a bodybuilder, as a champion, I've gotten paid handsomely. More than the banks, more than the real estate, more than the gas stations that my dad used to own, more than the construction company. I have a general license to pull permits and build houses. I have a GC. I could go build houses right now and pull permits if I wanted to, but I choose not to because I don't want to. I don't enjoy that. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy showing up as a leader for my family and for my family here. So wow your customers, and I promise you, you'll get paid handsomely. And when you get paid handsomely, you'll pay other people handsomely. and you'll treat people handsomely, and you'll show up handsomely. You'll trim your beard, or you'll trim your hair, and you'll show up sexy because you show up sexy. Sexy attracts sexy. The next thing I want to touch on was he talked about lunch breaks. I gotta mention this, guys. It happened the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck? If you're on South Parkway to South Parkway and you choose to go to 88 Buffet, and Lord knows I love 88 Buffet. That place is fucking good. I'll do 6 plates there. But if you're going from South Parkway to South Parkway and you got to go damn near Madison to get some sushi, make a better decision, please. Please. There's more buffets. There's one on Jordan Lane that's not as good, but it's still good. And there's probably one like on South Parkway. Just Google it. They'll tell you where the Chinese buffet is. I love a Chinese buffet and a Mexican buffet. Please, if you're on South Parkway, don't go to Madison for lunch. When you choose to go to lunch, tell your customers where you're going to go. We're going to run to Hardee's. We're going to run to Hooters. Wherever you're going to go, tell them where you're going to go. Be a little kind, be respectful, because your intent is to wow that customer. I gave that guy in the restroom a $20 tip. Are you guys getting a $20 tip for an 8-hour day lifting heavy furniture? If you're not, you can't say, oh, that customer's a bad tipper. You can't say that. You got to look in the mirror and say, what did I do to not get a tip? Remember that today. Remember that tomorrow. What did I do not to get a tip? Because it's not the customer. Even pissed off customers that have damages tip people. And then I call them out on that shit. You wowed them. You were impressed by them. Clinton Schaefer. Who was on the Clinton Schaefer move? He tipped everybody real good fucking money. He wants money back. But they did a horrible job, he says in the email. They did a horrible job, but wait, you tipped them. But they worked hard, but they did a horrible job. But wait, you tipped them. He wanted me to refund the tip because you're such a hard worker, but you did a horrible job. Who was on the Clinton Schaefer move? Y'all scratched the driveway. Y'all left shit at the house. I don't know who it was. I'll put it on crew later. Clinton Schaefer. He's a big bald guy, white guy, big biceps. I've known him for years. But he wants his money back, even though y'all did a great, horrible job. The next thing I want to do is I want to talk about protection plans. Look at crew real quick. Bust your phones out. Look at crew. I'm not calling out any jobs. I'm not calling out any crews. I'm not calling out any TLs. But if it's a protection B, that means the majority of everything's wrapped on protection B. What I'm posting right now is a leather couch. A leather couch may only cost $1,500 to buy, but you know how much it costs to replace or to refabricate? More than the couch itself. It's kind of swooping around on my phone. I don't know how it looks on your phone. Is it popping through yet? Okay. I'm on the damn Wi-Fi here. Let me get off the Wi-Fi. All right, here we go. It's coming through. A few of you guys are looking at it. So the first picture is a leather couch, not wrapped at all. Adam, guess what? You got to fix this later. And then the bottom picture is what Frank yells about all the time. Stretch wrap protects nothing. Let's say that one more time as a team. Stretch wrap protects nothing. I know Frank has said it, and y'all just said it. This is not protection. And then that little couch to the right that has a little ankle, Achilles massage thing, I promise you, that thing right there has got to be expensive because I pay for it. I want someone to rub my ankles. But that right there is not, this was a protection B. That means the customer wants things wrapped. This isn't wrapped. Guys, if your team lead is off, if your team lead has a death in the family or somebody sick at home and they're just trying to push through because it's required of them, and you're just the mover, you could be the second guy, you could be the fifth guy, support your guys that are in bad situations. We all have bad situations. It don't matter if you're a CEO or CFO or a piece of shit, you still have bad days. And we all deal with that differently. I have bad days, you guys have bad days. When your team lead has a bad day and they're not paying attention that this is protection B, you guys have got to, hey, can we read protection B? Can we wrap this a little better? Because I know I don't want to pay for no damages today. I know you don't want to pay for no damages today. And I love how Caleb sometimes is like, I'll just take it. No, you don't need to just take it. You need to say, listen, on the front end, let's work with our heads and our minds and our hearts, because really it's your heart. You know, someone asked me the other day, hey, my kid's 16 and he really wants to work for you. I promise you, Joe, he weighs at least 200 pounds. He's strong. He's a hoss. He'll be a great muscle up mover, but he's 16. And I said, listen, The reason I can't hire him is because he doesn't own furniture. And because he doesn't own furniture, he doesn't understand the valuation or the care of owning a furniture. Does that make sense? Because if you don't own furniture, why do you care? Just like this, if you don't have stock, do you look at the stock market? If you've never paid for furniture, because furniture is expensive unless you find it secondhand or, donated or whatnot. Furniture is marked up 500%. Am I right, Frank? That's expensive. It's dumb. But furniture is expensive. Because the kid's 16, he'll never understand until he pays for furniture. And I want you guys to understand that too. If you have or you haven't furniture, you have to care for it. Doesn't matter how much you protect it, how much padding you got, how much stretch wrapping you got. If you just don't care, you don't care. And I understand, I show up some days, I just don't care attitude. I just don't care attitude. And that's when I let Frank run the huddles. Because I don't care, I can't show up like that all the time. I want you guys to understand, we all got bad days. When someone doesn't care, try to help them care better, right? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So, Frank, I think that's all I had to shit.
All right, one thing, guys, what he was talking about, B connect, the B option, that means you're only going to cherry pick. The customer's going to pick certain things he wants wrapped. So how do we protect ourselves, not letting that customer get around things that he didn't want wrapped and he got scratched?
Sign away.
Take pictures. Take out.
Say again?
Right damages.
I just heard it. What did he say?
Sign
Sign a
away.
waiver.
Take pictures of what he wants wrapped. I encourage all team leaders to get some blue painter tape or some kind of tape that you can mark these pieces of furniture that they want wrapped. Take a picture of it, put it upload it. Wrapped, option B. So he can't come back and say, "Oh, I wanted that wrapped." Well, sir, here's the pictures that they took that you wanted wrapped. Now you're protected. Because trust me, there's going to be something that gets missed, or he decided he got scratched, and he said, "Oh, I wanted that wrapped." Well, they didn't take pictures of it, so y'all didn't communicate. You've got to communicate with the customer and make sure you take those pictures of that option B of the stuff that's going to be wrapped.
We had a lady the other day that we moved. Caleb was on it. It was when we hit the bridge and y'all went down south. I think Damien was on it too, and you guys all had the dust on you and you washed off in her shower. Well, she explained to the TL that those Ashley Furniture leather couches meant nothing to her. Those leather couches, don't worry about it. Those leather couches, don't worry about it. If they ever say don't worry about it, okay, sign right here. That's my Chinese voice. Okay, sign right here. If they say don't worry about it, use your Chinese voice. Okay, sign right here. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be Chinese on y'all. I want some idiot buffet now. But you see what I'm saying? If they're going to say don't worry about that leather couch or don't worry about that Samsung YouTube refrigerator, don't worry about that YouTube refrigerator. I got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Okay, sign right here. Am I right?
Yeah.
Because they don't care about it. They don't care about it. But they're going to bitch about it later. I need a new Samsung YouTube refrigerator that has a face recognition. Mine don't. And I want one that does.
Sign right here.
I want Siri inside.
Sign right here.
Cyrus, where's my milk?
It says
Cyrus, where's my milk? If they say don't worry about it, okay, sign right here. All right? And you guys are going to connect with that. And I know I use comedy, but I want you guys to understand. You remember Kevin Hart more than you remember Bill Clinton. Am I right? Am I right? So excited! Everybody knows that, right? See? Everybody knows that because you're going to remember what you emotionally connect to. 9/11. Who remembers 9/11? Who remembers 10/11? So I want you guys to understand I'm being funny because I want you guys to connect to sign right here. All right? I want you guys to protect yourselves. I want you to get a $100 tip a day. I want you to be able to afford your mama her birthday or Christmas present because Christmas is coming up and you got to save now for Christmas. I know y'all got some babies or some baby mamas or about to have some baby mamas. Y'all better save up now, okay? I'm going to let you guys go to work today. I'm having too much fun. Get out of here! Get out of here!